Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kat. This is Katt's Loops and Lore, and this is day 25 of Vlogmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whichever one you celebrate, any and all of the above. I've got my Christmas cardigan on. The one that I painfully made a granny hexagon cardigan out of weight 2 yarn. If you're wondering where all the merry and bright went, it's in my cardigan. So, what's on the agenda today? I went to bed without an alarm set. Beautiful, right? Let's turn on the mic. And I didn't wake up till like 5 o'clock in the morning. 12 hours of sleep. After working the holidays and everything. Of course. I've had like 4 weeks of overtime. I think I can be allowed 12 hours of sleep. And on my second cup of coffee. So far, from the paperwork that I have kind of generated so far for this blanket, right? I've got 6 rows in already. I figured I wouldn't record without the overhead light on for you guys so that I didn't look like an absolute vampire creeping in the night. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are today. I'm hoping I can take Marty for a walk. It's currently 54 degrees outside. Kind of is what it is. Just taking it slow and steady. I may cook. I know I'm going to be working more on the blanket. But as far as content goes, I mean, I know yesterday I talked about putting on a movie and knitting to it. Dad needs some help setting up his tablet, so I guess I will be helping to set up the tablet. But other than that, like, meh. The blessing and the curse of a day where the expectation list isn't high, right? Which, in that sense, it's almost like a true day of rest, right? Typically, normally, you would spend the day with friends and family, and I've noticed, okay, I'm gonna switch to like astrology chat with you guys, alright? As I have said a couple times on this channel, I am a Leo rising. And with that being said, current transits have Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Cancer rules my 12th house, right? So a lot of that is like the unknown. I was catching up on what Leo's astrology transits are going to look like for 2026. And they're like, Jupiter in Cancer has been really kind of about isolation, right? Going into self-reflection. You're kind of going into a hermit mode, right? And yeah, I did. Especially because I believe Jupiter started this transit middle of the year, so like June, July, which would make sense because I lost my car June, July. I started therapy at the end of August, and I've really kind of been sticking to it. I don't have therapy this week or next week because heaven forbid, vacation, right? Gotta take time for ourselves. But I just, being able to work on more internal processes. I'm expanding my knowledge of how to best interpret my thoughts, what's been working, what hasn't been working. In tarot, I've been getting a lot of the Hermit card. The Hermit and the Tower card seem to be kind of consistent in whatever personal readings that I do. And yeah, I've been experiencing the transit. Jupiter is in Cancer. Cancer is in my 12th house. And I've been working on that. I've been learning to be okay with the quote-unquote isolation, because there are some times whenever you need to learn how to be able to be alone with your thoughts, right? I have these little bouts where I can be very extroverted, very energetic, very exciting, and then there are times whenever I tell people, I'm like, my battery life is like 4 hours max. You can get peak Katt for like 4 hours. And then I retreat, like the little joke that was going around with the cat under the blankets, and it's your girlfriend and you're like giving her treats and she's snatching them and under the blankets. So yeah, Jupiter is set to transit into Leo come the middle of the year of 2026. And that is shifting from my 12th house to my first house. So the house of self, the body, the mind, like all of what needs to be focused on the personal level, because the houses 1 through 6, I believe, are designated as your like the personal houses. 7 through 12 are like your environment, right? 7th starts your relationships, whether they be personal, whether they be business, it could be platonic, it could be romantic, and whatnot. So I'm currently experiencing Pluto going through my 7th house. So Pluto is all about death and rebirth. It's about transformation. It's about alchemizing these things. And to have it completely, like, the way that I'm staring at a natal chart right now for the current transits, and the way that Pluto at 2 degrees is almost kind of like in that zone, right? It's kind of balancing with Jupiter at 22 degrees retrograde. And I always see retrogrades as personal reflections. There's something for you to look deep, to get into the nitty-gritty. You may have to dig past the surface level junk, right? You're getting through the light clutter that's on the top, and you're really having to dig into the actual dirt to find the root of what's going on. So I'm taking Jupiter going through my 12th house as my personal experience through my mental health journey, and that only makes me more excited to have it transit out of Cancer. When Jupiter transits into Leo, I'll be really excited to see how my life kind of changes. And just being aware, right? My mom described me whenever I went to go talk to her yesterday. She's like, Katt, She calls me by my legal name. You guys can know me as Katt, though. She's like our flower child, right? She's like, I remind her a lot of the people from, like, the age of Aquarius in, like, the 60s. Like, 50s, 60s, I guess. And I was like, she's like, you're really into this, like, eclectic stuff. You're into the tarot, you're into the astrology, you're into astronomy, you're into all of that stuff. And you, sorry, are by far, like, the most artsy of all of the children, right? I paint, I draw, I work with fiber arts, I make stickers, I am really crafty. And my brother does a lot of geometric art, and my youngest brother is really into, like, 3D modeling. He loves building stuff in Roblox, right? And I just, in me coming into, like, this space, right, I like being in spaces where I really feel like I'm not limited by anything but maybe the materials in my hands. So, we may do a tarot reading later. We may roll the dice, see what could be influencing the day for either moi or the collective. Maybe they're connected. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Take it as you want. And, I may pop on a movie. But I know I'm going to finish this coffee while it's still nice and hot. I already had breakfast. And I had a snack. I had my trail mix. So, let's get into today. Alright. So I've had lunch. I had my last little Christmas cake from, like, my Little Debbie's cakes. And I have gotten another 15 rows in on my blanket. So now she is about yay big. Double the width, obviously. But I have dubbed it my Fruit Loop blanket. Just because the way the colors play out, it looks like Fruit Loops. It's just take my word for it. Okay. I kind of made a little oopsie in the middle. I did a double knit instead of knit purl. And I've just committed to it. The fairies are not claiming my soul in this project. With a... well, is it technically a mistake if we've just, like, accepted our fate and moved on with it? I'm 43 rows in, and I'm not... We're just going with it. So, we are up to 43 rows. This is 15. And I'm getting really curious. 43 rows measured out is... I don't know why I grabbed this ruler. I have a tape. I'm debating on drinking my Celsius. I've got at least 20 ounces of water in my water bottle. We are about 13 inches. So we at least got 13. Folded in half, we're at like 15. So it's at least 30 inches wide. And now 13 inches tall. I'm very curious to just keep going with what the skein has to offer, or if it becomes as tall as me. I'm 5'5", so it's at least, what, 1 foot 1 inch. We're getting there, right? Just 5 more feet plus 5 more inches. But that's why I'm saying that this is definitely like one of those projects that I kind of want to have in the background. We all need a project where we can just put it down, do other things, and then we can come back to it later. Undoubtedly, whenever I finish it, I will probably turn around and start turning my opal Caron cake into also a blanket. Because at least then if someone comes to visit, I can give them a blanket, right? I don't know. You make friends with a crafter, you get crafted gifts. So, just don't assume you're going to get them, because then you're not going to get it. Hashtag crafter life, right? I've been having my phone go off with a bunch of Merry Christmases. So, that's been fun. I have not booted up Jurassic World. I kind of was scrolling around Netflix, Peacock, and Discovery, and I just landed on Mysteries of the Abandoned again. So it's, if anything, I'm consistent. YouTube was annoying me with their new change with their FYP, because I was looking for like specific videos to like pull me. Like, I don't like how like there's people that I've subscribed to, and I have to go hunt down their pages, even if I have the bell set to all. I'm like, dude, I understand and I appreciate that you're pushing smaller creators. Or, hey, if you really like this content, that maybe you should watch this person. Okay, but what if the person I did subscribe to posted a video and I was waiting for their video? Nah. Watch this person instead, right? I'm stuck in a moment where I just want to put something on in the background that I can easily walk away from. And right now, Mysteries of the Abandoned is a perfect show for that. I've watched up to like season 10, 11? And I think they've put out 2 new seasons since then. And I decided to restart it from the beginning. So I've got a couple seasons where I step in and I'm like, oh, this is a great refresher. Let me rewatch this. And if I need to get up to let Marty out, I don't have to pause the video because I've seen it. I know it. Yes, it's a refresher. It's keeping it like in the file cabinet, not collecting dust, right? But it's not like a full-on movie that I am 100% invested in because I have never seen it before. So, I just... I don't know. Part of me wants to go take a walk. I figure at around noon I may do that because then it'll be closer to our high. I may want a little nap. Whew. But, I don't know. I'm glad that I'm a little bored. I guess bored would not be the right term, because I'm kind of running on an autopilot. I could boot up my PlayStation. Could start up a game. I did actually take my Switch with me to go see Mom. Didn't start it up, but it's in my yarn bag. Marty went and stole me for a little bit to go play, which was refreshing. But, yeah. Day's just going chill. I'm just over here knitting away. If I flip it around, you'll be able to see where my little stitch marker is. Just Putting some work in on it. Just knit and chat, right? I got the notification that Kelsey posted her 12/25 update for Vlogmas. And, yeah. So I'll turn around. I'll go ahead and watch that. Maybe see if we can't end on a solid, like, 45. Seeing as yesterday I only did 13 rows. Yes, I did 13. I did more afterwards. I realized I told you guys probably at the time I did 8. So I did a few more. So, maybe I'll do 2 more. We'll see. I'll come back around noon, see what update there is to post. What's your favorite thing to do on Christmas? Some people play games, some people do movie marathons. What's your favorite Christmas movie to watch? I think as a kid, like, my favorite thing was watching the claymation Rudolph. I think that one was my favorite. Whew. And then, what was it? Nightmare Before Christmas. Which one could argue? Is it a Christmas movie? Or is it a Halloween movie? Because we have both in one. So, who's your favorite character from Nightmare Before Christmas? If that's one of your favorites. What else? I feel like there's definitely an old nostalgia for the older Christmas movies. Like, I remember having the classic Charlie Brown movies. I remember the claymation, stop motion, animation. That's got a soft spot in my heart. Which, if you followed up with Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also claymation and stop motion animation. I remember whenever I was young, we would watch Home Alone. I can't say that I've really got any others. I know there was the Tim Allen Christmas movies. That was okay. Would you say Rise of the Guardians would be a good Christmas movie? I like the story of Rise of the Guardians. Like, of all the movies that I feel like deserved a sequel, I feel like Rise of the Guardians should have gotten another sequel. If I'm remembering it correctly. It was the one where we had Jack Frost being the protagonist, and we got to see Hugh Jackman voice the Easter Bunny. That was awesome. That would be something really cool to go into, like, a lore dump to, like, the origins of all the characters that came together in Rise of the Guardians. Sandman, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Jack Frost. And I know there's so many more, but those are the only main characters I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, that's my little update. And I'll check in again in about 30 minutes or so. That way I can have time to edit my video. And we'll see if we got any other knitting done. Okay? See you soon. Hello. Checking in. It's actually 12:32. Got caught watching some videos. And instead of doing 2 more rows, I did 5. So now we're at 48 rows. So, we're getting there. We are getting there at 48. Let's see if we can let this kind of cover. Boo, 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 boo. 0. We're at 15 inches. So, 1 foot, 3 inches. That doesn't sound so impressive, does it? Well, that's pretty much where I'm going to wrap this up. Marty is over here wanting some attention. We'll let you sit up on there. You gonna say hi to everyone? You gonna say hi to everyone? No? What do you see? What do you see? Okay. Alright. Thank you, Marty. He is my child. Okay. You're like, hey, let me back, right? So, I hoped you loved our little visitor. He definitely wants some attention. Time on the clock is 12:34, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an angel number. What is the meaning of angel number 1, 2, 3, 4? Let's double check, shall we? Angel number 1, 2, 3, 4. It signifies moving forward in life, encouraging patience, progress, and taking small, consistent steps towards your goals. So, moving in a way to help promote health, sanity, and understanding not to rush anything, right? I can feel that. And I feel like moving to do vlogs on YouTube is definitely kind of like a step in that direction. Because it is like a little seed that you plant into your garden that you just take care of, let its roots establish, and then you celebrate your milestones, right? We have 8 subscribers. That's 8 more than I had when I started, right? And I do believe, according to my board, last I checked, we're up to 15 hours of watch time. Like, what? I couldn't really do this without you guys. I look forward to what the end of the year and the new year bring forward. And I hope that slowly yet surely I can learn to ease up in front of the camera, develop how I do my videos, make them maybe a little bit more interesting, learn a little bit more editing, just so that it's more engaging for you guys. But you can't start until you start, right? So if you were debating on starting a YouTube channel, the only thing I can tell you is that the only thing holding you back is you, right? Why is my watch going off? Oh no, I think I got updates about my niece opening her presents. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. She is absolutely loving everything. She's all wrapped up in the star blanket. I'm gonna cry. Oh no. Okay. Thank you for watching the video. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to be part of this crazy train. And I will actually be back with you tomorrow to do a recap. Let it be like a knit and chat reflection as to Vlogmas. My first time vlogging, my first time doing Vlogmas, and yeah, look forward to that. You'll get a bonus episode tomorrow, and I'm gonna go gush over these photos of my niece wrapped up in my blanket. Okay, see you later.